Any development concerning abortion in any state immediately becomes national news. President Biden has condemned yesterday's ruling by the Arizona Supreme Court, which upheld an 1884 state law that bans nearly all abortions. Former President Trump says he opposes the strict ban. Just like Florida, however, Arizona voters are poised to make their voices heard on abortion access in November. This is a map showing every one of the 14 states that could have abortion rights on the ballot. News4 Jax reporter Scott Johnson has been sampling the views of some voters in our area, checking with our political analyst as well.
A week after the Florida Supreme Court put an abortion referendum on the November ballot, the Arizona State Supreme Court has another bombshell ruling that allows a 160-year-old almost complete abortion ban to go into effect. This has sent shockwaves across the political landscape, with former President Trump actually saying the Arizona ruling goes too far.
Yeah, they did, and that'll be straightened out. And as you know, it's all about states' rights. That'll be straightened out. And I'm sure that the governor and everybody else are going to bring it back into reason, and that will be taken care of, I think, very quickly.
The Republican presidential nominee also weighed in on Florida's abortion ballot measure, saying he feels Florida will change from the current ban. Last week, the state Supreme Court upheld the state's 15-week abortion ban, which also cleared the way for a 6-week abortion ban to go into effect next month.
According to the Biden campaign, they believe Florida is now in play. I don't know if that's true, but it clearly makes it more competitive. The abortion issue does matter. President Trump would rather be talking about the border.
News4 Jax political analyst Rick Mullaney says former President Trump may take some criticism from his right, but his concern is more about electability and moderate voters.
For the position he's taken, he has taken some criticism on the right, for example, from former Vice President Pence, and he's taken that from others on the right. That's expected for those legislators in Florida who did the 6-week ban. But I think President Trump has made the political calculations that he'd rather withstand that criticism than the challenge of going there. Because in the end, his base will be with him.
One thing I notice is when I go out on the street to do those person on the street interviews, you know the type, on controversial topics, voters often can give me their opinion. But on the issue of abortion, it is so sensitive. Many times voters are just kind of unsure how to answer.
Do I think it should be legal to have abortions? No.
You don't think it should be legal?
No.
Would that influence how you vote, or not, you wouldn't get to that point?
I mean, as far as how I vote, it's just on a person. You know, as far as that person, what are they going through at that time of abortion? You see? So it's like this. You know?
It's kind of a hard issue, isn't it?
It's a hard issue.
I wouldn't comment on that. I think every woman has to do what her body and her God tells her.
And we want to walk you through exactly what will be on your ballot in November when it comes to the right to an abortion. This is the summary. No law shall prohibit, penalize, delay, or restrict abortion before viability or when necessary to protect the patient's health as determined by the patient's healthcare provider. This amendment does not change the legislature's constitutional authority to require notification to a parent or guardian before a minor has an abortion. Let's break this down. No law shall prohibit, penalize, delay, or restrict abortion means the state legislature would not be able to draft any new law that would block a woman from an abortion. This also protects women from any type of punishment if she gets an abortion. Abortion before viability means an abortion before the fetus could survive outside the uterus. Typically, a fetus becomes viable around 23 weeks into pregnancy. So this means in Florida, there couldn't be any law stopping a woman from getting an abortion before the fetus is considered viable. And here's an exception, or when necessary to protect the patient's health as determined by the patient's healthcare provider. That means if a fetus passes the viable mark, but the woman's doctor says she needs an abortion or she'd be at serious risk, she can receive an abortion. Current Florida law already has this exception, allowing abortions anytime during a pregnancy to save the mother's life or avoid permanent harm. Now let's look at this part. This amendment does not change the legislature's constitutional authority to require notification to a parent or guardian before a minor has an abortion. It means this amendment does not interfere with existing laws requiring parental notification before an underage teen can get an abortion. If you vote yes to this amendment, you're supporting a state constitutional right to an abortion before fetal viability. If you vote no, you're opposing the amendment. 60% have to say yes for the amendment to be approved. Joy, back to you.
Scott, thanks.